I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramblin' Man Podcast, episode number 160. This one's with Savannah Jane Wolfgram, and we talk about her being a comedian and comedy in general. It was a fun chat. It was an interesting chat. If you'd like to learn more about Savannah, give her a follow on Instagram at Savannah Jane Comedy, SavannahJaneComedy. Yeah, give her a follow on Instagram. Go see her when she performs live. And I appreciate Savannah for being on. Sponsor this week is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, and social media consultation company based here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they do work for clients big and small all over the country, all over the globe, in fact. But they also do photography, videography, video editing, and audio editing, website design, SEO, writing, content development. Hell, they'll babysit your kids if it nets them money. So make sure you give them a follow on social media on either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn at Feral Giant. And be sure to give them an email today and hire them for your next project. Without much further ado, here's the episode. There's no good way to intro, so I'll just go ahead. Oh, will you say your full name?
Okay, Savannah Jane Wolfgram.
Okay.
The first. Because there's another Savannah Wolfgram in Knoxville now.
There is?
Yeah, this girl, Savannah, got married last summer to a guy with the last name Wolfgram.
Okay.
But he's not related to me. I don't know. He's from Wisconsin. Don't claim him.
This is fascinating.
No, it shocked me. It's funny because I Googled myself just to see like if comedy stuff came up with work. Because I was just nervous about like parents finding my comedy or whatever, but so I searched my name and then she came up and I was like, oh, who's this? Like Savannah Elizabeth Wolfgram. And then I clicked her name and it said that she lived in Knoxville and I was like, oh, this is bizarre. And then now we are Facebook friends.
Okay.
Yeah, but everyone's like, you're the original.
You're the original. Part one.
Part one. I was actually really territorial about it when I found her. Because I didn't think anyone else had my name. I guess that was very, like, selfish of me or something. I just thought I'd be the only Savannah Wolfgram, you know?
Yeah.
At
one
least,
of one.
Yeah, one of one.
One of one. Are you originally from here?
No, I grew up in Minnesota until I was, like, 14, and then we moved to Nashville when I was in 9th grade.
Okay.
My mom mysteriously got a job in Nashville the same time my sister got accepted to Belmont University. Okay. So we kind of quote unquote followed my sister to college.
Okay.
I guess my mom was going to take the job anyway, but it kind of helped that my sister was going to be moving there too. So yeah, I just got back from Minnesota. I was there for Thanksgiving and then I was in North Dakota for like a week at Halloween and then I'm going back for Christmas. So I go there a lot.
To North Dakota.
Yes.
Okay. And so it's funny. Some of the things I already know the answer to.
Yeah.
Because we talked about at lunch.
Yeah.
So you have family in North Dakota.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And including little ones.
Yes. I have 3 nieces and a nephew, Fred.
Okay.
And
you still go back to Minnesota too? Do you have more family there?
Yeah. My grandpa Fred is 93. So I just spent a few days with him at Thanksgiving. So my grandpa's still there, and then my Uncle Scott is there, and then my Aunt Therese and my other Uncle Dean, so they're still there. And then my grandma Ruth lives in North Dakota, and like extended cousins, all that stuff there, all in North Dakota.
Okay.
And my sister's there too with the kids. Yeah.
So they're all over the place. And plus it's a good excuse to go back and family. Although going in wintertime, that's got to be brutal.
It is very terrible.
Oh.
It is very terrible. We are always like crying about the weather because usually on Christmas Day there's a blizzard, and then we're like, how are we going to get to Lisa's house? And we usually go, but like last year we almost died. There was like this pile up in front of us, and it was a whiteout, and then the semi just went crashing through. It was crazy, but we made it like to the side a little bit because my sister saw it like about to happen, and so she called us and was like, scoot over a little bit. But yeah, it's always dangerous.
Okay.
And yeah, usually like someone has to leave early because there's a storm coming, and we're all just like, don't leave, we don't want you to leave. And it's just like a lot of tears because of snow.
I wear shorts in the wintertime, so I would thrive. I would thrive up there.
My dad does the same thing.
Yeah. I call them winter shorts and put a little trademark anytime I post about them online.
Yeah, we do the basic. It's like it's called like the Minnesota uniform is like a hoodie and shorts.
Yeah. There are 2 new hoodies that just arrived.
What is it?
One of them is Guster, the band Guster.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the other one is Run the Jewels. They released an all Spanish language album called Quattro of their fourth album. And they were having a Black Friday sale, and that was like $20.
Oh, that's nice.
And I bought 2 sizes too big for me because it's hard to find hoodies that are too big for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want one a little bit bigger that doesn't come up to my belly button.
Yeah.
So I got that one.
Nice. I was going to do I tried to buy Avril Lavigne sweatshirt on Black Friday. Actually, it was like a whole sweatsuit, but it was only 20% off, so it was still like $160. It's not worth it.
It seems like nowadays, and I saw this come up for the first. God, we're getting to the heavy topics now.
Avril.
No, not Avril.
Black
consumerism.
Friday. Yeah.
That everybody is now jacking up their prices to say they've lowered it, and people found it like Target where it said on sale, and they pulled a sign behind it, and it was the exact same amount.
Yeah.
It's like, that's hilarious.
I don't even bother shopping at Black Friday or in general. But
I did record store day on Black Friday.
I used to do that, yeah.
And but it's another thing. It's so limited this time. No one had anything, but I still bought like, as you can see, I have a problem. I still bought like 30 or 40 albums.
That's awesome.
Because I got a lot of weird sound albums for cheap at Wild Honey. So
nice.
I'm always looking for weird sound. Like, do you know who Mort Garrison is?
Mm-mm.
He made an album for plants.
Oh,
and it's sweet. This weird, quirky. You may actually like it. It's this weird, quirky, just electronic music from like the 70s.
Okay.
And so I'm always looking for weird stuff. Like I was like, this is great stuff to put on, and while I'm cleaning the house eventually, and putting together stuff, hanging up Christmas stuff.
That's nice.
This is good background music.
I need more music because I think too much, and I play like the same 20 songs over and over.
Okay.
But it's like, they're like heavy song. It's just stuff that like reminds me of things, and I need to like move on a little bit and just have like just regular music sometimes, and not like stuff that makes me sad. You know what I mean?
Okay. So heavy lyrically, not like death metal.
No. Yeah, my pump up music is sad music, and Jason at Pilot Light, he's always like, can you put on something a little bit more peppy?
That's hilarious coming from him.
Oh yeah, he's like, I know that this is your pump up music, but you gotta switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did your folks do?
My dad works at a factory. He does what's it called when they like check on stuff to make sure it's all okay? Like the same
compliance or something like that.
Yeah, he's done that same job. It's it's a different company now, but it's like printing. They print like bags for like dog food and stuff like that. And then my mom works in finance. She worked at American Express when I was growing up, and then it turned into Ameriprise. And I honestly don't know what she does.
Okay.
But she's good at it. I mean, she went to college for like a year, and she just like built herself up doing this stuff. She is also a musician.
Okay.
So that's where the music thing kind of started for me. And my dad is like really into music too. So we're a musical family.
I need to go backwards a little bit. So you all were in Nashville.
Yeah.
So then what led you to, was Knoxville the next step?
I actually went to Western Kentucky University for my freshman year for photojournalism.
Okay. I've got a lot of friends who went there.
Yeah.
Way before you. They are
okay.
old, so, yeah.
I got a little nervous. Like, I thought I couldn't do it or something. I love photography. Like, I've always been taking pictures for forever. And I still do it. But I don't know. Something happened and I just thought, I can't do this. And then I then I decided to leave Western Kentucky and go to UT for writing. And my plan was to be like an English teacher, which I could still do. But my major was creative writing, and then I concentrated in poetry. Okay. And then my minor's in cinema studies.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of went all over the place.
Okay. Well, if we don't reach 5 hours on this podcast, I may just start talking to you about movies. Cinema studies.
Yeah,
okay.
It was awesome. That was my favorite.
What was a movie you found in those classes that kind of blew your mind?
A lot of them. I'd never seen The Apartment before.
Oh, yeah.
Loved that one. Sad.
Very, also a Christmas movie.
Yes. New Year's, Christmas. Mm-hmm.
Dark yet hopeful Christmas movie.
Yeah. I'd never seen The Godfather. Like, we had to show up at 8 a.m. that day because it was 3 hours, or,
Yeah.
Winter's Bone. I loved that movie.
It's a great movie with Knoxville's own Dale Dickey.
Yeah. Mr. Larson loved her. He passed away. I'm trying to think. Oh, he was obsessed. Mr. Larson was obsessed with Inside Out, the Pixar movie.
So I am binging. I had piecemeal listened, and now I'm kind of listening to all. Did you watch Ted Lasso?
I've seen a few eps. Okay. I'm behind on the trends.
So the guy who plays Roy Kent is a comedian, and he's a film nerd. And he has a podcast called Films to be Buried With. So I'm marathoning those podcasts, and it's amazing how many times Inside Out comes out.
Oh, really?
Comes up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how impactful that film was to people.
They have a second one coming out, too, with Anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the lead character, I can't remember her name right now, but she's from Minnesota, and then she moves to San Francisco. So Riley is her name. I kind of relate to her a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious. They've had some misses, but I bet that one will be good.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly didn't think they were going to do that. Mr. Larson, if he were alive, I don't know what he would say, but I'm sure he'd be excited.
So I've taken my little pre-pandemic. I have a sister that's 11 and a half years younger than me. Mm-hmm. I've taken her to every Pixar film except for A Bug's Life until the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So I didn't think they'd come out with like Toy Story 4.
Right. I haven't even.
It was fine. It was good. It was good. It had a lot of good stuff in there. Toy Story 3 was just so phenomenal that it's hard to beat. And I love Toy Story 2. I love Toy Story 2 a lot.
Yeah. Jesse.
Usually I collect shit. So the whole aspect about collectibles and Jesse. It's great. Okay. When you were young, were you always a creative kid?
Yeah, I was like the class clown. I got in trouble for being weird in 5th grade. Literally.
Okay.
But yeah, I was always just kind of, I guess because I'm a comic, I was always like goofy and doing weird stuff. But yeah, very musical. Like me and my mom and my sister always sang together in the car and on stage with my mother, to our dismay sometimes. And then I was a figure skater, all sorts of stuff. That's creative.
Did your folks allow you all to try a lot of things when you were young?
Yeah. they didn't like force us, but like we played soccer and stuff like that. But if I actually quit figure skating because I wanted to stay home and watch VH1 music videos instead.
Okay.
I remember the exact day that happened. I was really into, and like one of my dream jobs is like, I would love to be like a music video director.
Okay.
Because I love them so much. It's like the best of both worlds for me, like music and movies together.
Okay.
But she was like, all right, it's time to go to skating. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I remember Pink's like Get the Party Started was on the TV.
Oh my God. Okay.
And skating's very intense. Like my sister went a long way, and like, you know, you wake up really early before school to do all that. Just, so yeah, I kind of gave up on the figure skating dream, but yeah, they were very supportive and just like anything we wanted to try for the most part, I would say.
And you're into music videos. Were you already into movies or cartoons when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. My favorite show was Roseanne.
Okay. That's
yeah, my parents did not put any limits on anything we watched, like nothing.
So they allowed me to watch Twin Peaks when I was
oh boy
10 years old.
Yeah.
And then my dad sat me down when I was 11 or 12 and was like, oh my God, look at this movie. It's coming on. Oh God, this is a great one. Now you watch this, but I got to go to bed. You watch this. It was Deliverance.
Oh, scary.
Yeah. So, I'm sitting there one night at like 11 o'clock midnight, staying up watching Deliverance because Dad told me to watch Deliverance. Like, what the? And I was 11 or 12 years old. So
I remember my dad playing me Quadrophenia when I was in elementary school.
Okay.
I think that's the first time I saw a naked man before.
Okay.
My first movie in theaters was Austin Powers, the first one.
Okay.
At the Mall of America. And I remember sitting there. I was like 6, I think. But my
all
mom,
the jokes
right
over your head.
It was actually terrifying, like with the sharks and stuff, you know, when they're like getting eaten. And they're wearing like those metallic or what's her name? Yeah, she was wearing that metallic outfit. Yeah, it was kind of scary as a kid to watch that. Vanessa.
Okay, so that's Vanessa. So Heather Graham's character was Felicity Shagwell.
Yeah,
that's the only name I remember.
Movie.
That's the name I only remember. And Alata Vagina.
Yeah.
Was one of the bad women. Those names. Oh my God.
That movie is fucked up.
Yeah. Those. Oh God.
But I was really into Nick at Night. That's where the Roseanne came from.
Okay.
I remember when my grandpa gave me like one of their old like tiny TVs, and I put it in my room on a TV tray. And so I was watching Nick at Night like before bed. I sleep with the TV on still.
Yep.
It's not good for me, but
is it not?
It affects you apparently. The light.
So here's another film. I'm a film nerd too. Forever when I had a DVD player in my bedroom, I would listen to directors' commentaries.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just like, oh yeah, that's interesting that how many takes Fincher had to make to get that shot right in Fight Club.
Oh yeah, I did that too. Yeah. I was obsessed with the movie Saved. Have you ever seen that?
I saw that in the theater.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I would listen to the commentary a lot.
I can't remember was that Mike White?
Oh, Michael Stipe was in on it.
Okay.
I know that from REM.
I'm trying to remember who directed that. Now I'm going to have...
I think he produced it, Michael Stipe.
Oh, okay. I don't know this director.
Who is
Brian
it?
Danley.
Oh, okay.
No idea.
That's how I found out about music too, like finding band. Like I would watch entire movies just to watch the ending, to see all the credits of the songs and listen to specific songs. I'd watch a whole movie just to hear one song for like 30 seconds. So I got a lot of music I love actually from like Saved and Almost Famous. Both Patrick Fugit movies.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right. He was in that film.
Yeah, he's in Saved. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And he's in Wristcutters, A Love Story, which I love that movie too. He's just like a random actor to be in love with, but
then what was he? There was something else he was in. I think it was like Gone Girl.
Yeah, he's in Gone Girl. He's
one
a
of
cop.
The detectives is like, where has he been for like 15 years? Yeah.
And he was just in that show Love and Death about that lady that kills that other. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about on HBO?
That they made.
Yeah, there's
two
two
separate
Candy.
series.
Mm-hmm.
about the same person, but I think I'd watched a documentary about that woman.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Crazy stuff there.
Yeah. Okay, you're into movies and cartoons, found music through movies.
Mm-hmm. And my mother.
And your mom. Were you into musicals or anything like that as a kid?
I'm weirdly like not too into musicals. I loved The Sound of Music, of course. But for some reason, like they're not like something I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
Which is okay. I've seen a few on Broadway, like Chicago and stuff, and I'm going to see the Alanis Morissette one.
That's coming up soon.
Yeah. My friend invited me to go with him.
Those tickets are not cheap.
They I had no idea. He just asked me.
I really wanted to go see the To Kill a Mockingbird and the Hadestown ones. Mm-hmm. But they are just... There's no price break for this. I'm getting on my soapbox. There's no price break for like seeing it on Tuesday or a matinee. It's the same price for every single show.
That's
interesting. I was like, man, I really want to go to these, but do I want to fork out that much money for these? But tickets in general are going batshit right now.
Really?
Yeah.
One musical I was actually really obsessed with is High School Musical. That's my generation.
Yeah. So if you watch High School Musical, the musical in their TV series?
I saw it on Broadway. Well, not Broadway, but they came to Nashville when I was in middle school. And I've seen a few episodes of the show with like Olivia Rodrigo, but I just don't know if I just didn't get into it because I'm older now or something.
Okay.
But the original movie's very into.
With Zac Efron.
Zac Efron, Ashley Tisdale, Vanessa Hudgens.
Okay. That was way past me.
Yeah, it's Disney Channel. Disney Channel originals were a big deal to me.
Okay.
Like 7:00 on Friday when they had new movies every couple months.
Okay.
I would like write out my TV schedule for the week from the newspaper.
Nice.
Like, I probably should have had other hobbies, honestly, but.
Oh no, we would get TV Guide when I was a kid, and I would highlight when movies were on or TV shows were on that I wanted to see for the next week.
But I am really into like movies about music. Like Walk the Line was a huge deal. I wanted to marry Joaquin Phoenix like very intensely.
See, Once is my favorite musical.
Yep.
That movie.
I saw that.
I saw that in the theater, but I had pre-bought the soundtrack right before I went into the movie, and thank God I did. And I remember sitting there in that movie, and that movie just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that because that's my favorite too. I love Glenn and Marquetta a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh.
We were at the same show together.
Yeah, the poster's right there. I had it straightened out. That thing, it's been sitting there for like 2 weeks straight. Well, the top one is from the Yo-Yo Ma show. Yeah. And then the Glenn and Marquetta one is underneath that. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that we talked about that before. Yeah.
I always call them my soulmates that aren't each other's soulmates anymore because they're not together anymore. But yeah, I love them very deeply.
It's crazy. Not enough people talk about that movie anymore. Like, yeah.
And I saw the musical in London. And I literally cried the entire time. And they let you go on stage and like during the intermission and like take pictures, and my eyes are just so puffy and red. I was just crying because it's so beautiful. The music's so beautiful.
Yeah. Were you into any performing as a kid?
Yeah, I was in a couple plays like in junior high, and I would sing in talent shows, stuff like that. And other than that, not too much. My sister was really into being in musicals and plays, so I would be there a lot just around her during that time.
Okay.
But moving in middle school and high school was kind of hard. Okay. I did like techie stuff, but I auditioned. I was in choir. Obviously I was in choir, and I did like jazz choir and like the extra stuff with choir in middle school. But yeah, I wasn't like I'm not a very good actress. I giggle a lot. My friend tried to have me like in one of his school projects as an actor, like just saying like 5 lines, and I couldn't do it without like smirking or something. Like I get really giggly in front of cameras.
Okay.
I do my best, but
when you were a kid, were you into comedy or sketch? Or do you remember the first maybe like comedian or sketch or something that you saw that made you kind of prick up your ears?
I've been in love with Adam Sandler since I was little.
Okay.
Like obviously all the movies. And I would watch SNL too as a kid, and I still try to watch it. It's kind of hard to watch it like after your favorite cast leaves. Like my favorite cast was like Andy Samberg and those guys.
Yeah.
But I still catch it every now and then. But yeah, Adam Sandler, number one, my whole life. Obsessed. And I guess it was like The Wedding, one of those movies was the first, like The Water Boy. Oh no.
That'll sound good.
It's good you have a coaster.
Yeah. The Wedding Singer. Okay.
Yeah, Wedding Singer is one of my favorites. I'm very influenced by just like tiny details in movie. Like I have a necklace that I bought just because it looks like Drew Barrymore's in The Wedding Singer. Like I don't really have my own fashion sense. I kind of just like go off of things I like in movies.
Okay.
But yeah, Sandler, I've seen him now 4 times live in the last
Holy crap.
5 years. Yeah. Yep.
So do you like just his comedies, or are you into his dramas too?
All of it. Dramas, his music, he actually is like very talented. Like he can shred and he can sing, and he's just like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like I had a dream the other night. I was like praying to God that he never gets canceled.
Oh my God.
I was like on my knees begging.
Although the video that keeps popping up for him it's at the red carpet of a film he did with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
like dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like a hoodie and basketball
Sandler
shorts.
fit.
And she is just giving him such shit. Of just
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He does not care.
No. But weirdly, one of my teachers in high school used to play basketball with Sandler, pickup games. And he was going to Malibu for like some trip, and I've written Sandler like 3 letters, and I came really close because he played the Opry one time, and these kids that wanted to get selfies like ruined it for me. I was just trying to give him a letter, and I saw him like get into the car, and then he drove past me, leaving the gate. But he was like wearing a cowboy hat and playing basketball on his way into the van. David Spade just looked at me through the window. But my friend said that because usually people dream about people they see, like you don't just make up people in your dreams, like they're probably people you've seen before. And my friend was like, well, David Spade might dream of you now. So that made me feel better because he's seen my face.
Okay.
But where I was going was, so my teacher like teased me about how much I loved Sandler, and like on the last day of school, he had like a voicemail saved from Sandler, and he played it for me. And I was just like bawling. And then I made him send it to me. So I have a voicemail on my email that Sandler left for my high school sociology teacher.
Not to you.
Not to me.
Just in general. Like, hey man, we're going to play basketball at the park
exactly.
at 4 p.m. Tomorrow.
And he does a impression on it. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I guess I shouldn't play it, but yeah. And randomly too, Andy Samberg, I wrote him a letter to the SNL offices, and I checked the mail for a year, and he like signed an autograph for me and like wrote my name on it and stuff.
Okay.
I'm in the long game for that sort of thing.
So there's a comedian I love, Jimmy Pardo, that he talks about when he was young. They sold books that had celebrities' addresses and phone numbers, and it was their real addresses and phone numbers.
Weird.
And he would randomly call Woody Allen, and Woody Allen would pick up the phone. And who else? He said Barbara Streisand. Mm-hmm. He sent, because he collected autographs, he sent her something, but it went to her home, not her office. Uh-huh. And he got like a threatening message back like, do not do this ever.
Yeah.
Like kind of weird. He's like, I don't know how the hell they sold those books.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, that's very weird. Here, I used to ask this. I don't have called to ask this anymore. Would you flip out if you met, like if Adam Sandler, all of a sudden I was like, I got a surprise for you. Adam, get your ass in here. Like,
yeah.
Would you absolutely flip out?
Yes. I've had dreams of like, I had this dream one time where he was at a party at my friend's house and I walked in and nobody warned me and I fainted.
Okay.
Like I would need warning. We actually did have an interaction at one of his shows and and he was shining a bright light in my eyes. So it was almost like I was dying or something.
Oh my God.
But if I met him personally and not like in front of a crowd of 13,000 people, like what happened, that would be a different story. I wouldn't know what to do. That's why I always like write a letter just in case. Like I don't know if I would want to talk too much. I would just give him the letter.
Okay.
But yeah, I love him.
There's only two. I'm curious if you even know one of these two people, but there's only two people that I've said if I ever met him, I would just walk up to him and say, hey, I'm going to cry and I'm going to hug you. And that's what's going to happen.
To hug Sandler.
And that's Magic Johnson and
Basketball?
Kevin Smith.
Oh, okay, sure. Canadian?
No.
Kevin Smith's not Canadian?
He's New Jersey.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, his friends, Jay and Silent Bob, are they Canadian?
Nope.
Why
New
do I
Jersey.
think they're Canadian?
He loves Canada.
Okay.
And there's a lot of Canadian content in his films.
Okay.
But those are the two that I'm like.
That makes sense.
So the funniest is I've met one person more famous than the two of them and did not flip out. And I met another person that's equally famous to Magic Johnson and did not flip out. I met Tom Cruise and did not flip out.
Yeah.
And then I met Charles Barkley.
Oh, cool.
And I was in a cigar shop and picked out a cigar for him.
Oh.
And he was like, thanks, big man.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Okay.
I'd be scared to meet Tom Cruise. He scares me.
Well, I've told this story before. I'll tell it again real quick. He had a film premiere here. I went to it.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to sound braggy, and I do not mean it to sound braggy.
No, it's okay.
I was 2 or 3 people back, and some autograph hound dude got up and pushed a little kid out of the way. So it was right as Tom Cruise was walking up. There was a line there. There was an actual barrier there.
Yeah.
And the guy was there. I just reached up, grabbed him by the chest, and pulled him back. So all Tom Cruise saw was my big ass hand come through and pull. And he kind of shocked, and then he kind of clocked what was going on, and he looked up at me and gave me a nod, and I just nodded back at him and pulled the guy back. So
yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. I hate it when people ruin shit like that. Like, just calm down.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there was a little kid there excited to meet Tom Cruise, and this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so those. But yeah, Magic Johnson, Kevin Smith, I would probably. What about Andy Samberg?
Oh, yeah. I would freak out too.
You would have a letter.
Oh yeah, I wrote. Yeah, the one I wrote him was like, "I'm going prom dress shopping today. I love you."
Oh my God.
Yeah, I kept a photocopy of it. But yeah, Sandler is like number one. And I'm hoping. Well, he's been filming like a special, and I was like, I wonder if our moment was funny enough to be on the cut, but I probably not. I don't know. I lied. He does this thing in his new show that I've seen twice now where he'll ask like new parents to stand up or like newlyweds to stand up, and then he'll sing them a specific like song and like shine a light on them. So I stood up for everything he called for, obviously. And then he was like, a woman over 71, please stand up. And that's when I screamed, me. And he just shined the light in my face and said, no. And then just kept going.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I died. Like, yeah, I don't even remember it happening. My friend had to at first thought I was blinded.
Yeah.
But then I saw on Instagram a few days later, because he always posts like recaps of shows, that there was a 70-year-old woman at one of his shows. So he got to sing that song to her. But
that's
yeah.
Hilarious.
Yep. And then these people in front of us got so pissed that I was making noise. But like towards the end of the show, it turns into like a rock concert. So I was like dancing and singing, whatever. And they like tried to start a fight. They were just jealous, man. They were just jealous. I think.
Haters. It's like the poet laureate Taylor Swift once said, haters gonna hate, hate, hate.
Oh, yeah, they were hating.
Oh, my God.
I hate when people are like that at concerts. Like,
see, have you ever seen the movie Singles? Camel Crow, early 90s. Mm-hmm. So there's a character in it, the main character, Steve. He goes to shows, he stands towards the back, and he just stands there and kind of nods his head. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do anything. It's like, that is my spirit animal, or whatever the phrase is now, at shows. I just go there, I just want to see the show.
Yeah.
I went to a show at Barley's the other night that was an all-ages show, and everyone was under the age of 22, except for me. Except for me and Rusty from Blank and some other guy that I can't pull his name, but he has an open mic here once a week at Jig and Reel every Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. Music, yeah.
And it's like the three of us were the only people over the age of 22.
What was it?
It's the band Willis. So they have a song that went viral on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And then the opening band was a band that went to that goes to Vanderbilt.
Okay, interesting.
But it's all kids.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be the old man on the lawn, but 2/3 of the crowd never paid one bit of attention to the band.
Sure.
And half of that crowd was turned around and facing their friends and talking. And so they were facing me, not the band. And in the middle of songs, they would just, I was like, and then this group of kids came and stood in front of me and literally just kept bumping into me.
Weird.
And I was just like, I need you to notice the look on my face.
Yeah.
You're in my personal space.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this.
And you thought they were there to see the show and they just weren't paying attention?
Because it cost like $12 to get in.
Yeah.
It was a ticketed event.
Interesting.
260 people showed up for that show.
Weird.
Sold tickets. So no, they all had tickets.
And they just,
did not pay a lick of attention. It drove me nuts. I was
That's
like,
weird.
I just want to watch the show.
Yeah. That's a hard venue.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'm all for like dancing and stuff at shows though. I know theater shows are like, if everyone's sitting, I'm not going to stand up. Like, I'm not going to ruin the vibe that way. But
I enjoy the sitting at shows. I've stood up at shows plenty in my life.
Yeah, true.
I enjoy the sitting. God, that is a deep thought. I enjoy the sitting. That's my new merch for this podcast.
I enjoy it too.
Okay, so when you were younger, you were really into Sandler and Sandberg.
Roseanne.
Mm-hmm. Any other comedians or sketch performers?
Farley, of course.
Okay.
I love Farley. I always say that I wish I was like truly alive in the 90s so I could have a love child with him or something. But I was a baby.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I may have seen all of his films in the theater except for that weird one he did with Matthew Perry where they were like, it was not good.
Yeah.
It may have came out after he passed away even. I take it back. I think I saw that stupid movie in the theater because my buddy and I were obsessed. And we were
with Farley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people. We went and saw a lot of movies. It didn't take much.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where out where Easttown was, there were 3 movie theaters within like a quarter mile of one another.
Nice.
So it was not hard to.
Yeah.
Like it's Saturday, we're going to go see 2 or 3 movies.
That sounds fun. I know. It's so sad to drive by the AMC the other day, the one they just closed.
They're going to turn into apartments.
Really?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Hope they're affordable. Okay, so watching comedy, kind of not afraid to get up. Do you remember the date of the first time you did stand up?
Yeah, well, the date, not the exact date. I remember it was I actually took a stand-up class at Zany's. It was like my 18th birthday gift from my parents because you had to be 18. And I told a joke about like shitting in a urinal in Europe because I thought it was a toilet, but it wasn't. But I was obviously the youngest person in that class. And it was like a lot of poop jokes that I wrote. But the first time I did stand up in Knoxville was at the Pilot Light, Friendly Town.
Oh, yeah.
I told this long-winded joke, which is still in my set, most sets, about meeting the the lead singer of Third Eye Blind, with my dad, and having jizzed my pants like a month before at a Third Eye Blind concert. And then my dad ended up saying like, thanks for all you've done for my daughter when he met Steven.
Holy shit.
I was so awkward and it was terrible. Like my first time was terrible. But I never stopped after that. So I never gave up.
My little sister was obsessed with Third Eye Blind for a time, and
still
to this day, I call him Stefan, and it pisses her off.
Stefan Jenkins.
I was like, yeah, Stefan Jenkins, and she was like, it's Steven. You shut up. I was like, I listened to them before you did. I think I'm the one who got you into them. Like,
I was at Marie's a couple months ago, and there was this absolute tool talking to me, and he somehow comedy came up, and I was like, yeah, I do comedy, and he was like, do you like Joe Rogan? And I decided to mess with him, and I was like, Jeff Rogan? Yeah. Like all night I just called Joe Rogan Jeff Rogan, and he was getting like, actually, it seemed like he wanted to be violent after a while because he was drunk and just an asshole. And I was like, yeah, Jeffrey Rogan.
Yeah.
And I got my friend in on it too.
Oh my God. Jeffrey Rogan. The other day I called Joe Rogan PhD to somebody. I was like, yeah, you know Joe Rogan PhD? Yeah, this guy's doctorate now. Okay. So that was first time you did it was at Friendly Town. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
I miss it.
Yeah.
That got killed.
Where is he now? I can't remember where Tyler
moved to Michigan, like Mount something. Like
Yeah. The only posts I see from him is him posting record.
Yeah,
covers.
yeah, mostly records.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still doing comedy. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Friendly Town. I thought somebody was still trying to do it after he left, but I don't know if it
he left, like he wasn't Mayor Tyler anymore, and we had like a send off, and we did it up until COVID. Yeah, and then we had one show where it was Friendly Town makes up for lost time, and I married Table Mayor, which is a table, but we haven't had a show since. We've tried, but we lost like Monday night at Pilot Light because now it's improv music.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's free improv every Monday night at like 7. It's Matt. Do you know who Matt Nelson is?
So he is a guy I have seen perform a lot, and I'm trying to do the math on this. Is he married?
Yeah, he's married and has a baby now, but he plays upright bass.
Is his wife's name Carly?
I'm not sure.
Because it's either he's married to her or her ex-boyfriend looked exactly the same, and they both are musicians. And I'm like, wait, is that the ex or is that the husband?
Yeah.
So if it's him, and that's his wife, she's a very talented artist, and she's a very nice person.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Like I've known her through like Instagram and art for a bunch of years.
Okay,
like she's
awesome.
If that is her. If not, that's his ex-girlfriend who also is married and has a kid with a dude who looks exactly like him. So every time I see him or the other guy, I'm like, you both look exactly the same, and I don't know which one.
That's funny.
But I've seen them both perform tons of times with bands.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very talented.
At Pilot Line.
We had like one virtual Friendly Town show, but I don't know. I think a lot of us were ready to move on or have like a new iteration of the show. Yeah. But most of the stuff I do now is with Tiny Stage Comedy and like Rowan.
She's all right, I guess.
She's good. She's a good egg.
I had her on.
Oh.
Brandy was scheduled to come on.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get Joanna?
Yeah, Joanna. You should.
I was like, wait, is it Joanne or Joanna? I couldn't remember.
Joanna.
But Rowan had said she's moving to New York.
That's news to me.
Shit.
Oh, wait. Joanna?
Yes.
Joanna's moving. Oh, okay.
Booker.
Is it New York? Yes.
Okay. Thank God. I was like, man, did I just let the cat out of the bag?
Oh, no.
I think she said that on the podcast. So it's like, no. So I'm trying to catch her before she moves.
I think she's trying to move in February. I think. Yeah.
She was one like, well, you had met through Trey.
Mm-hmm.
But like Brandy and Rowan I'd met a bunch of times. But Joanna and Brandy were both like, who are you? And I was like,
that's funny.
No. It's ask Rowan. I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are like, us ladies, we are very protective of each other.
So that's why.
Yeah.
So here's spoiler alert for anybody listening. Her mom always like, I will come to you. You can come here, or I will meet you in a public space.
Yeah.
Whatever you are more comfortable with. And I've had now 2 artists on. They were friends with my friend Esther, and both of them said they texted Esther and like, is he a creep? No. Cool.
Right.
I'll go to
Yeah.
his house. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like once they got the approval, it was like, oh no, he's fine. You can go over there. Yeah, 'cause it's just, I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
you're
I
not
understand.
a creep.
I totally understand. That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
always offer, because I'm
Yeah.
like, nope.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make a big deal, like Rowan and all of us, like it's almost like a lot of mostly ladies doing Tiny Stage. Like we make a big deal trying to make the environment like a safe space for everyone. So if someone's just a knucklehead bad person, like we're not going to book them, you know.
Still book Dan Taylor. I mean, come on. I love Dan. Do you know Dan?
No, I don't.
He's the one who did the D&D show.
Oh, okay.
At Central Cinema.
Okay.
So he's a comic book
I'm not
guy
a gamer.
that I've known him for 20 years, I think. Mm-hmm. And he and his wife moved to Nashville. She manages like 3 or 4 comedy clubs. And like books
cool.
them. Super nice. Katie. She's awesome. Why she married Dan? I'm just kidding. I love Dan to death.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. But yeah, I can kind of see that. No.
We try to keep
the good kind of. I say this in the most polite way. The good kind of weirdos.
Yeah. There's been some, questionable people. There's a lot of people that like try to do stand up, but they shouldn't. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
We're selective in a good way. Like we don't exclude people, but if you're an asshole, like and if you're rude to other comics or rude to the audience, it's not going to fly.
Yeah. I remember when Tiny Stage was actually performed on a tiny actual stage. So weird seeing how much it's grown over the years.
I know, it's awesome.
Okay, so you start performing stand up. What were the early days like of you performing?
At the beginning, we did the Friendly Town, so we did the weird improv show. And that I never really planned for. Like, Friendly Town does infomercial, Friendly Town gets married, we all had, every week was a different theme. So that was mostly improv, and that was like fun for me. Like Friendly Town writes letter to Santa, stuff like that. And then my early comedy days, I did like normal comedy. Like I memorized jokes and then told them like normal, but now
like set up punch.
Now it's turned into long form essays that I read.
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to talk about that, but I don't know a good way. So how do you explain? Because I've seen it performed quite a few times. So
what I say is every time I live another day, I add to my set. And so I write a new set like every show, and I'll have like some old jokes, but mostly everything is new and it's all true. And like if it happened a month ago, I'll say a month ago this, or if it happened a week ago, I'll say a week ago, and I'll go back and change it if time has passed to the correct timing. But I like to say everything is true, and that's why I don't let people record me, because I don't want like some of it to be out there, if you're there, you're there, you get to hear it. But I get kind of nervous about just some of the content like being online right now. But I'll like post my writing. That's a little different because I can decide what I'm going to post. Right. Brandy calls it like I'm reading a diary, which is true. Like I go through my text messages and like my tweets, and everything almost comes out of there, like things I say to my friends. Mm-hmm. And I just make everything connect some way. A lot of it is like about wanting to be a mom, doing drugs, and then doing like silly things, and just like a lot of weird shit happens to me. So it just but I find a way to like connect it all and like wrap it up in like this essay. And sometimes they can be like 20 pages, or the hardest for me is like 5-minute sets, like trying to time those. Yeah. Because I'm not used. So at home, I'm like writing this all down. It takes me like all day. because I have trouble focusing and stuff. So I'll work on it like all day, and I'll read it to myself. But the timing is hard because no one's laughing at home. Yeah. So that's what I struggle with the most, is like having breaks for laughter when I'm reading this stuff on stage. And then I end up kind of reading faster. So my new goal is to have like a page limit and just stick to a page limit. And I don't necessarily need to fill like the full, because I could go, I've gone for like 30 minutes before.
Holy crap.
Reading. And that's like, because I had that amount of time. But for like 5-minute sets, I'm going to need to just have a page limit and just make it work for that. And that's kind of hard. But
this is going back in time, and I don't know if you can remember this. Mm-hmm. But at Trailhead, where you opened for Trey.
Yes.
How long were you up there for? Because that one seemed to go. Because it was like every time you flipped the page, you like took a breath, and everybody laughed. And every time, like I was there with a friend of mine, I was like, holy shit. Like every time you flipped the page, I was just like, oh my God, it's still going. Not in a negative way. Yeah. I'm just like, where is this going to go next?
Right.
Where is this going to go next?
That one, I think they gave me a good amount of time, and it was like 15 pages, I think. Like, yeah. And I double space, and it's in Comic Sans. Like, it's not like.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
No, yeah.
I'm a graphic designer. You're killing me.
I was going to bring one tonight, but I left it at home. But I call them my papers, and I carry them with me in like a Chuck Norris folder from middle school.
So Chuck Norris? Oh my God.
Yeah, they say like Chuck Norris led a horse to water and made him drink. Like, it's weird. It's weird Chuck Norris jokes from like 2005.
Amazing. I kind of want to see you do it one time, like you're actually like a teacher, like with glasses, like at the end.
I have an eye appointment at 9:45 in the morning tomorrow. Yeah, so I'll get you some glasses. I have a hard time seeing, like.
Or I was going to say, I just mean like you're taking it like it's very serious.
Yeah, that would be fun. I could try that. I'm performing next Tuesday at Central Cinema. I don't even know where to begin for that set. It's been a crazy month.
So I will say, in that vein, I have it on my phone. I have how can I say this? Dreams that would rival like some of what you talk about. Mm-hmm. And there are times where I'll wake up and voice to text.
That's smart.
And then I'll clean it up, like all the misspellings and everything. And I can remember quite a bit, at least for a couple hours, until I'm like, okay, it's gone. Yeah. And I have been sending those to a friend of mine in Cleveland, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And they are like, swipe, very long, very detailed. Cool. And she is just like, what is wrong with you? What did you eat last night? This is absolutely bad shit. And they are absolutely bad shit. Yeah. And it's insane.
It's fun to just write what you're feeling and thinking, and not actually think about it too hard. Just like let it out.
Did you ever meet Shane Ryan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also,
he used to do Friendly Town.
Sweetest guy in the world. Mm-hmm. That he was really kind of the leader of the comedy scene here for a long time. Yeah. That he was like, hell or high water, I'm going to do this. So if you go back, I did like 5 hours of podcasting with him. Oh, wow. It's like 2 episodes because of his story. Yeah. Excuse me. Do you know his story?
I can't remember.
He found out within 24 hours that his wife was cheating on him, and he lost his job.
Okay, I sort of remember this now. Oh,
and so his dad, God love his dad, was like, come back. You're going to live with me. Don't worry about having a job. Don't worry about anything for at least a year. Wow. He was like, this is a lot. Come on back and don't worry about it. And so he was like, I always want to do stand-up. And I was there. God love you, Shane, if you're listening to this. The first few sets were rough.
Yeah, always.
Everyone. But then once he got more comfortable and got more honed, it was like, holy shit, some of this is very good. This is very good. And there were a few of those sets when he kind of finished where it was like, these are good. Like, this is very good. Because you're taking a lot of pain and this is amazing. Yeah. But he was one that kept pushing me to get up. And I was like, I will, no,
never.
I will write it down. I will not get up there. I can't. I stumble too much. Like
I understand.
Yeah.
It's almost, the paper's almost like a shield to like, cause I get anxious. So I don't have to memorize anything. It's all very personal and like stuff I shouldn't be telling people.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter to me anyway, but, it's a little less nerve wracking to have it with like holding it in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't have to, I don't know. It makes me less anxious to just have my papers and be able to read it that way. Jeff Blank is like, it shouldn't work, but it does. He was like, I don't know why it works, but it does.
Oh my God. Do you still get nervous before a set?
Oh yeah, I get nervous. I'm just anxious in general, but I'll get like super sweaty. Like my hands will get cold and sweaty, but I don't like shake when I'm up there anymore. I used to it depends on what I'm talking about. If I will like actually like shake or something. But generally it's gotten better just because I have like my safety net, which is just being able to read it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something kind of, I don't know, more personal than usual, I'll get a little nervous. But also I read it because it helps me like process too. It's like cathartic. Like the stuff that I say, I feel like people shouldn't laugh, but they do. Like they shouldn't laugh.
Yeah. That's a lot of it.
Yeah. I enjoy it though. And it is always really, really surprising what people laugh at. And sometimes I'll cry a little bit. But not because I'm nervous, just because of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have things currently that you want to do that are kind of parallel? Like doing more sketch or would you want to do acting?
Maybe if I could not be so giggly. The last show I did, the one with Trey, someone in the audience, my friend Alex, I read my set and it was like brand new. I think it was like 15 pages. I went over on my time, but he was telling me like he had a friend in Michigan in publishing and he thinks that his friend would like love to publish my set for like a chapbook or something. Okay. And I've never really thought of like, because my major was poetry writing and my comedy is kind of like how I wrote poems. So it's kind of intertwines for me, but it would be interesting to maybe submit my comedy writing like as, I don't know if it'd be poetry, but as something to be published.
Okay.
As for acting, yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of anything kind of analogous or that runs side by side with comedy. Like, would you want to run your own night? Or?
Oh, yeah. Right now I'm like doing the sound at Central Cinema.
Okay.
For the comedy nights. And I've only done it once so far, but it was fun to like pick sounds that were, or like music clips that were like funny, like that fit with the person's set that just got off.
Okay.
So I'm doing that right now. I've hosted a few shows and I hosted like Friendly Town shows. Friendly Town calls its mom and I was the mom and people called me. And then I ended up calling my grandma, and having her on speaker and she didn't know.
Oh my God.
Which might be illegal. I don't know. It was very sweet, but, yeah, I feel like just the way that I do comedy, I'd probably be a little rusty right now, just hosting a show.
Okay.
But I'm not against it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything in that vein.
Hosting.
Anything else that's kind of,
I guess.
What about touring? Is there?
Oh yeah. I would like to try it, maybe in Nashville first. Sometimes I worry, like, I don't know why I worry, like, people in other towns wouldn't get my comedy because I'm, like, very specific about places and, like, things in Knoxville, but I don't think that matters.
So,
it probably would still, like, make sense, even if they don't know what Pilot Light is, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They would totally get that. Yeah.
Rowan asked me to do one last year. I couldn't do it, but just to do the Midwest or something, like a few towns. And I have like comic friends now kind of all over, so that would be fun.
Yeah.
I just need to make it work, really.
Yeah. Shane was doing pretty good, like almost like a Ohio to the below us in the South run. It seemed to, he had some pretty standard gigs.
Yeah.
I thought, but it's kind of weird now how comedy's in a weird place right now. Like, it seems like there's a lot of it, but if you don't know the bar to go to, like there's not as many comedy clubs, or a lot of the comedy clubs seem to want bigger, more established acts or nothing.
Yeah.
Because if you look at some comedy clubs' websites, it's like 7 nights a week, 4 nights a week are nothing, and then 3 nights are somebody big.
Gotcha.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of comedy, but it's still a little bit niched out right now.
Rowan books a lot of out-of-towners, like from Nashville and Chattanooga, from the north too, I think. I don't know how they find her, but...
There used to be a show at... What was it? I think it was when it was Sawworks.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Sawworks? Yeah. There was a show there. It was like every Friday night, and I can't remember the guy's name that ran it, but he would get a lot of people out of like Atlanta or Alabama.
Yeah, Atlanta.
There's this guy Max Fine that I still remember, and Clinton Riggs.
Oh, Clinton Riggs. Yeah, he just moved to New York last year.
Yeah, that I remember them performing there, and they were both really good.
He was I don't know if he studied poetry actually. Joanna studied poetry in college too. Yeah, Clinton's awesome. I think Clinton is Rowan's favorite comic, like local comic. He always kills it, and he just like goes up there and says like none of it makes sense.
Yeah. I think I saw him. There was one show at the food truck park when Trey and God, why am I blanking on his name? Jeff Tate, when they were in town. And I think it may have been during the pandemic, and it was like November.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting out there just like, holy shit. And I'm out there in shorts, and Trey is just looking at me. He's like, shorts, Jody, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Okay. Like,
yeah.
It was very, but I think Clinton performed at that show. I think I remember that.
He's really good. He's a poet too. Maybe being a poet helps with comedy. I don't know. It seems to. A lot of my friends are poets, and they do comedy.
Okay. Would you ever want to be in a band? There's a...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Me and my friend Cece have like 3 ideas. We want to do like a country girl group because the Newmarket Trainwrecks are like all boys, and we want to do like an all girls country group.
Okay.
And then we also wanted to do just a band, me and her, called Warned You. Warned You, like we warned you.
Oh, warned you.
But we haven't. It has not come to fruition. But,
I heard WARDEW.
Oh,
Wardo. I was like,
Wardo.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I was actually in a Christian rock band in middle school.
Okay.
I was a singer, and I've been in. My friend Steve Gigante, who does Old Man Fuck You, we had a little group called S&S Green Stamps, and we sang like folk songs. Nice. And I wrote a Christmas song, and we sang that, and he has a Christmas song that he wrote, so we sang that one together. And then we did some John Prine, and that was really sweet. We used to sing a lot during the pandemic. We were like buddies, hanging out.
I meant to ask this. You said your parents both perform music?
My mom plays. My dad is an appreciator of music. Oh. Yeah. My mom plays guitar and plays piano.
Here in town?
No, she used to play like every Saturday growing up at the Mall of America. That's how I went to Austin Powers.
Okay.
So we go with her like every Saturday, and then she recorded a CD in like 1999, but she plays like John Denver covers and like country song covers and stuff. And then my sister went to Belmont for songwriting, and she played music up until she had a family and lives in North Dakota now. So we both majored in writing, which is interesting, I think. But yeah, so she played all original songs. My sister did.
Okay.
Through high school and then through college.
I know a lot of musicians in town.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, is this going to be one of those? Oh, hell, I know your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. What would you like to see more of in comedy? Yeah, now it's time for the heavy hitter, the big questions.
I mean, I really enjoy like the girl power we've got going on.
Okay.
I'd like to see more of that still, honestly. I don't know. I enjoy the scene very much. I'm not really in tune with like I don't watch comedy. I feel like I'm a weird comic and I don't watch like comedy specials and stuff like that or listen to like comedy podcasts, but I just enjoy like being able to be honest in front of a crowd of people. I think more of that would be great. I know everyone has a different style, but I definitely enjoy just the girl power we've got going. I know it sounds cheesy, but more ladies.
There's a female comedian that I would love. She has performed here one time when there used to be some kind of weird like Scruffy City Comedy Festival.
Okay,
thing.
yeah, I remember that.
But there is a comedian that I think is one of the best comedians working today, Jackie Cation, that I would love for her to come back, but I also know she is not big enough to like sell out the Bijou.
Yeah.
But she's also maybe too big for like a Central Cinema.
Yeah.
She opens for Maria Bamford.
Oh, cool.
I assume you know who Maria Bamford is.
Fellow Minnesotan.
But she performs on her own. She had a special out during the pandemic called Staycation. Jackie Cation.
Oh, nice.
And it's it's amazing.
Yeah.
But she is a straight ahead comic, like old school. I think she's been a comic since like the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh,
like
cool. She performed here one time, you said?
For that weird Scruffy City Comedy Festival.
Okay.
To where I almost went, but I think it was a weird thing of like, well, you have to buy a 3-day pass to go see her. I was like, I just want to see her.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $90 or whatever it is just to go see her.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But she is one. Maybe I need to message Rowan and say, can you get Jackie Cation? Because I would love to see.
That'd be cool. We could figure that out.
Here.
We could get a bigger, like a medium-sized venue. There's that Old City Performing Arts Center. I've never been there, but I mean, that's kind of big.
I've been there for some shows, some bands. I think the last time I was there was for the Octopus Project that the Pilot Light helped put on.
Yeah.
I think they've done some comedy shows there, but just a couple. They're another one that they don't really promote their show. They don't have that many shows, then they don't promote them. So
yeah, that's too bad.
Is there anyone you would like to work with other than Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg? And maybe not Roseanne at this point. Roseanne's kind of...
It's hard to beat Sandler. I don't know. I'll have to think about that for a second. Can we come back to that one?
Yeah. Let me color that a different color. Color that one red.
Who would I want to work with?
Return for red.
Yeah.
Do you set goals or checklists?
In life?
Well, yes, or comedy. Like, are you like, I need to get up at least once or twice a week?
Okay. I usually do like 3 or 4 shows a month, unless I just need to have a break.
Okay.
I honestly just do it like for fun and also just to feel like less alone. Like it's not really like a career path that I'm taking. Like Rowan is, like she's very serious, like wants to open a comedy club, like and I'm serious about it. Like I work really hard on it, but it's almost just a way to like survive for me. Like, cause I'm messed up, like in my head, like it helps me to write down all these things and like these things really happen. This is real. So I like to do it at least 3 to 4 times a month. Just personally for me, and I enjoy it. But for like writing my comedy, I just write one word and then I know what that one word means. It's like a whole story. It's not really like a checklist, but Yeah, I mean, my goal growing up was to be on SNL in general. To like even just be a writer. Like I don't need to be on screen. I know Bill Hader has like really big anxiety. Oh, Bill Hader. I would love to work with Bill Hader. I love him. And Nathan Fielder.
Nathan Fielder is one that is lost on me. I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Oh, I emailed him.
I love Bill Hader.
Oh yeah, I love Bill.
Barry is such a fucked up show.
Oh yeah.
And it still
Dark
has
comedy.
one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. And it's the one where he goes after the guy who's like a mixed martial artist. Mm-hmm. That episode is amazing and gives me anxiety and is amazing.
Yeah.
It gives me anxiety.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that episode is absolute bad shit.
I need to catch up on the last season, but I liked that show a lot. It was fucked. Yeah, it was really fucked up.
The last season gets very dark and very sad.
Really?
Which I was like, I don't know that I can handle that right now. I think I'm good.
It's understandable.
For a minute.
Yeah, and it's very gory too. It's a gory show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Nathan. I love how awkward he is. I emailed him when I was going through a hard time. Well, I still am. Well, but last August, I was watching old Nathan Fielder videos on YouTube with my friend Drew, and at the end there was an email, and I was like, I'm going to email that email right now. So I did, and I was like, hey Nathan, are you still there? I need help. And then that was August, and he emailed me back in October, and he was like, I'm still here sometimes. What do you need help with? And we had, if it is really him, which I don't know why it wouldn't be, because it was his email for the show.
Yeah.
We had like 4 exchanges, and his advice to me for my first question was, boys are dumb. I recommend girls. And that was very good advice.
Wait. Check. I'm with him.
Yeah.
Next.
Basically, I was in a bad relationship, and I was literally seeking help from random comedians at that point, like emailing him about it.
I'll get more random than Nathan Fielder.
He was like, boys are dumb. I recommend girls. And the same day he emailed me back, I wrecked my car. So he asked me what kind of car Shrek was. It was a lime green car, obviously. And I was at Marie's doing karaoke, and I was freaking out. And he told me that 10-minute karaoke was a faux pas because, of course, I was singing All Too Well by Taylor Swift, the 10-minute version that night.
Okay.
Because my heart was still broken. And then last Halloween, I dressed up as... Did you watch the show, The Rehearsal?
The new one with him and Emma Stone?
The one before that on HBO.
No.
It's not really a bit, but he walks in. Well, I guess it is. He walks into this dude's house in the first episode, and there's a bunch of doors in the hallway, and he just says, "Oh, Door City over here." And so for Halloween, I just made a bunch of little doors and
that's amazing.
Put them all over my body.
That's amazing.
And I was Door City.
Okay, that's amazing.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we would get along.
Okay. There's
I watched the first episode of The Curse with the new show with Emma Stone, but I had to literally turn around and just listen because it was so awkward.
It's like some of that stuff. I remember I watched The Office, both the British version and the American version, but I binged them. I finally caught up with The Office. I think I didn't start watching the American Office till season 3 was out. So I watched season 1 and 2 in a weekend. I watched the British one, then I watched seasons 1 and 2 in a weekend. There are times I'm sitting here watching it and I had to stand up and pace around the room.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I was joking with a friend at work. I was like, I like sports, grew up playing sports. There are times where I will start watching a game in here and I'll be standing in my office. And I'll be standing in my kitchen and actually pacing in my kitchen, looking around the corners, how's it going? How are the Dodgers doing? Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't watch this. But when I'm watching it live, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I get anxious too.
And it's fine. But watching on TV, it's I got to get in pace. I can't just sit there.
Yeah, I get affected by stuff pretty easily. Anxious wise, I've only watched Uncut Gems one time.
I've still not watched that film because I watched their previous film, Good Time, with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Uncut Gems is fucked up and just anxiety crazy the whole time. And I also had a hard time with, I don't like to see Sandler sad.
Yeah.
It's really hard on me. And in that movie, they fuck with him so much and it makes me so sad.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah,
I can't watch horror films for that reason
Mm-hmm.
because I will carry them with me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, me too. I have nightmares.
Yeah.
Yep. My doctor just told me, like, you can't watch anything remotely scary or, like, nothing, no 2020, nothing before bed. Like, because I've been having such bad nightmares. He's like, nothing. Just nothing.
Oh, my God.
Doctor's orders.
Doctor's orders. Again, listen to director's commentaries. Listen to
Yes. Yes.
I think you can still find a ton on YouTube. I found one that was...
Oh, that's good.
It's pretty funny. It's John Carpenter and Kurt Russell talking about Big Trouble. Have you ever seen Big Trouble in Little China? Mm-mm. That one, I would almost say watch it.
Yeah.
Because it is the weirdest movie maybe ever. So it's Big Trouble in Little China. John Carpenter did, John Carpenter.
The Thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell is imitating John Wayne.
Oh.
But he's playing a Farrah Fawcett-haired truck driver named Jack Burton.
Oh, do they, like, do weird, like, alien shit?
No, that's They Live.
Oh, okay.
That's one of Roddy Piper. The wrestler. But it's set in Chinatown in San Francisco.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of like ancient Chinese like mysticism and stuff. And it's funny because you think Jack Burton, Kurt Russell, is the lead character, and you slowly realize he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
And it's actually his buddy who is the hero.
Gotcha.
And he's just an idiot just kind of getting in the way.
Okay.
So it's a ridiculous film.
Is it in the 80s?
Yeah, like 84, 85. And their commentary is hilarious because they're just like, this is the weirdest shit ever. And Kurt Russell's like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, it's very fun. It's
That's
very
cool.
fun.
I've never thought to look up commentary on YouTube before.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Now, They Live is the alien film is a lot more serious. That's one where he puts on the sunglasses and he can see that people are aliens and that all the like billboards and stuff are actually consumerism messages.
Gotcha.
It's a very
spooky,
heavy, like everybody says there were a lot of people at the time that were like, this is very cheesy because it's a wrestler as the lead actor. But I rewatched it during the pandemic. I was like, no, this is just like a B movie Twilight Zone-y kind of.
Gotcha.
Very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Trouble in Little China is a joy. It's
I'll
so
have to
much
watch
fun.
it.
It's so stupid. It's
Stupid's
so much
good.
fun. Yeah. Okay, you said Bill Hader, maybe Nathan Fielder. Okay, we'll leave there. Wait, where's some girl power on this list?
I know. I was just thinking that.
Kate McKinnon.
Love her.
She's,
I love Emma Stone too. She's a great comedic actress.
I tell you who is, I think, one of the better comedic actors that doesn't get enough credit is, and you're wearing a jacket that it looks like what he wore in the movie, Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah. Oh, my friend said that.
Yeah, the kin enough.
Yeah.
He in comedy is great. There's a film called, is it the other guy, The Nice Guys, with him and Russell Crowe, and he is absolutely hilarious in that film. He was hilarious in Barbie.
Yeah.
And he was hilarious in Barbie.
Good enough. Mojo Dojo Casa House, right?
So I actually I went and saw Oppenheimer in the morning and then went and saw Barbie with my friend Courtney. And it was wild. It was wild. I was like, this is nuts to see these two films back to back.
I know, that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
I did not see Oppenheimer. I don't think that would go well for me.
Oh, God, no. God, no.
I'm too sensitive.
The way it is filmed, it's super weird in that it's like 45 seconds to 90-second scenes.
Yeah.
Like it intercuts back and forth. And like it'll be a whole scene that, like, let's say it's 10 minutes, but it'll be cut and then transposed with others. It's very anxiety inducing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Napoleon the other day.
How was that?
I liked it mostly because Vanessa Kirby's hot.
She's
and talented.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. Joaquin Phoenix, I know he's like kind of problematic now, but he did a good job.
He's problematic?
Well, he had some issues with that mockumentary he made with Casey Affleck. Remember all that shit? Maybe not.
Yes. I remember it because I was angry at it when it came out because it was so stupid.
I don't know what he's done recently, but yeah, Vanessa Kirby was awesome in the movie, and it was just pretty. And I learned I don't know much about Napoleon.
Don't take that for its word.
That's what I Googled it after, and they were like, it's not historically accurate. I was like, close. Shit.
Yeah.
I had to close my I had to cover my. It was actually pretty gory for I don't know.
Well, that doesn't surprise. Ridley Scott, Alien.
Yeah.
He's making Gladiator 2, which I still don't understand.
Interesting.
My Saturday freed up, and it looks like it's going to be rainy and nasty.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm going to do a movie day where I go see 2 or 3 movies just to play catch up.
You'll see Napoleon?
Maybe.
I
really
enjoyed
want to
it.
go see. I'm a comic book guy. And I really want to go see the Marvels before it leaves because I've heard the Marvels is actually a lot of fun.
Is that with Brie Larson? Is she in that? Okay, I love her.
And the TV show they did, Miss Marvel, with the young woman was a lot of fun. Was that young woman is a joy, and I was like, man, I really kind of want to see this because I've heard the fight sequences are a lot of fun, and
there's a lot of new Marvel. Like most of the previews were Marvel movies for Napoleon.
Were they?
Yeah. A new one with Dakota Johnson. It was shit I've never heard of.
That one's terrible. Don't Madam Web. No, don't go see that.
I'm not into it. But I'll watch it.
And the other one I was looking at was, I don't know about Priscilla.
That was triggering. That was
so
triggering.
You have seen that?
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I can handle it. I think that may be a watch at home movie.
Yeah, that was trigger. Yeah.
And then, but one that seems like it would be good is The Holdovers.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that.
That's the Alexander Payne film with Paul Giamatti where it's the people who are stuck at their private school.
Oh, okay. I have.
But it's got the actress in it who's in Only Murderers Left in the Building.
Selena Gomez?
No, the cop.
Oh.
Who's in season 1, who's hilarious.
Okay.
And she's in this one. I was like, man, I like her a lot. I kind of want to go. And I love Paul Giamatti's the best.
Yeah. I want to see that new one with Nick Cage about dreams.
Oh, yeah, Dream Scenario. That's another one that's on the list.
Yeah.
But the only problem is a lot of the films are not, God, we're getting inside baseball here, are not playing here. They're playing out in Turkey Creek. I was like, I don't know that I want to go to Turkey Creek during Christmas time.
Oh, God.
Like,
yeah.
It's going to be nuts out there.
I went and saw, what's the Talking Heads movie?
Oh, Stop Making Sense.
Yeah, Stop Making Sense. I saw that for the first time with my friend Eric. And then I was like, okay, since we saw that, you're going to go to the Eras movie with me. So we saw Eras in IMAX and then Stop Making Sense in IMAX. It was awesome.
Okay. We're going to get back to questions in a second. So are you a Taylor Swift person?
Yeah. Yeah. How can I not? I grew up, in real time with all this stuff.
So here's a few things for you. Mm-hmm. Number 1, I've only heard one of her songs all the way through.
Which one?
Teardrops on My Guitar.
Okay. That's number 1.
That's number 1. I've heard bits and pieces, but the Evermore and Folklore, I tried like fast forwarding, skipping through them, and they just weren't.
They don't catch you.
I think if I want to listen to Bon Iver, I'd listen to Bon Iver. Like, I'm not crapping on her. It's just, it's not my thing.
It's understandable.
But she's coming to Indianapolis, and my friend Courtney has met Taylor Swift and hung out in her home in Nashville.
Oh, during one of like the album listening things?
Yes. And so Courtney is absolutely obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's coming to Indianapolis next spring. I was like, I kind of want to go see what all the fuss is about. And Courtney's like, you cannot go. You do not know enough.
Oh,
you will not.
I don't believe in that.
So here's where I'm also going to make fun of Courtney. So she and I went to Asheville and saw Boy Genius. I love Boy Genius. I absolutely love Julian Baker and Lucy Dacus. Phoebe Bridgers, I'm on the fence about, but Lucy Dacus, especially Julian Baker. I fucking love Julian Baker. And there was a guy opening for them, Bartez Strange, that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So we went, and at the end of the show, she fussed at me because she was like, "You didn't cry enough during that show." And I was like, I cried during the We're in Love because that's the song I love by them. And I cried. It's like, you were too busy crying. You didn't see me.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't show enough emotion at these shows. I was like,
why is it I just do what you want.
Yeah.
It's not a contest.
She was facing the band and I'm sitting back here enjoying the show and singing along. And
you don't have to cry.
It's not my, I don't need to do that.
I was listening to Phoebe as my pump up music to come over here. I've been having her on repeat lately.
I don't know what Julian is the one that really stuck out for me.
Yeah.
And the Boy Genius albums are good.
Mm-hmm.
That I really
Were you at Julian Baker like 2018, 2019 at the Bijou? Maybe 2017.
May have been 2017.
Yeah.
That
I was there.
A phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was recent because I think it just popped up on Facebook Memories.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I go
makes
to like
sense.
65, 75 shows a year. So I'm constantly like looking on Memories. I was like, all right, who did I see around this time?
Right.
There are times I have seen the same person
same
5
day.
years apart the same day.
I believe
is
it.
So weird.
Jason Isbell always plays like the same days every year in town, you know?
Well, one of them was an opening act who opened for somebody and then like 5 years later came back and opened for somebody else on the exact same day. And that was one recently. I was like, holy shit. I was like, how did I see you exactly like 5 years apart?
That's
Julian
random.
Baker. I saw Tallest Man on Earth and he's fantastic.
Nice.
He's a lot of fun. Okay. Yeah, Taylor Swift. I've been
Swiftie.
debating going to Indianapolis to see.
I think you should go. I think you would enjoy it. It's fun to go to concerts blind sometimes.
Yeah.
I had no idea who the Spell Season were. I only went because Justin Townes Earl was playing and I thought I was going to marry him.
Oh.
And I was obsessed. I went to every show he played.
Okay, so we had been at a show together. Because I've seen Justin Townes Earl. I probably saw him 20 times.
Yeah, I was in like the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one. So I was friends, I'm friendly with the two of his bass players, that there are a couple here in town.
Oh, okay.
Bryn and I can never remember the husband's name.
David? Well, her last name's Davis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That she played with Jack White.
Mm-hmm.
And then I became friendly with Amanda Shires, Jason Isbell's wife.
Amanda.
Because she and Bryn played with Justin Townes Earl at the Square Room. Mm-hmm. And I was at that show. And after the show, my friend, do you know Paige Travis?
I do know Paige.
Paige is awesome.
She's a Swiftie.
So, yes, which surprised me because I'd never heard her talk about her before.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're at this show and we're hanging out with Bryn. I'm hanging out with Bryn and Paige. Mm-hmm. And then Amanda comes up and we start talking. And then she was like, can you take a photo of us? I was like, yes.
Aww.
So I took a photo, but this was when Amanda was a little curvier. Mm-hmm. And she was literally I was like, hey, I know I've just met you, but can you do this? She was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
And so because of that, she was like, you're my guy. I like you. And I would see her like playing with Jason. Like they were playing the Square Room one time and it was during Rhythm and Blooms. I couldn't get in, and she was sitting there playing her fiddle, and then she looked over and saw me and stopped and started waving at me.
Aww.
And then Jason was like, "Who's that?" He stopped and looked over at me. I was like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, it's good when dudes are honest about that instead of not saying anything. Yeah, which has happened to me before.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I like. There's a certain dress I always wear for Halloween, and it's very booby. And so I'll like hire someone to like make sure nothing happens. But yeah, it's important. It's important.
Well, here, I'll tell you, I'll tell you a side story. I told this story earlier that, I'm going to try and figure out how to say this without revealing what I was talking about. I worked at the newspaper. I was seeing somebody at the newspaper, and we worked with this woman who's a little bit older, but she was very, I'm going to use the Yiddish word, zoftig. Mm-hmm. She was very zoftig, but always wore clothes that were way too small. Mm-hmm. So we went out to drink one night, and it was the woman I was seeing and her, and she's sitting there, and I'm drinking my beer, and I'm staring because her top is like that.
Yeah.
To where, and then she got up to go use the bathroom, and the woman I was seeing smacked me and said, "Stop looking at her boobs." It's like, she's going to kill somebody. One of those buttons is going to go flying.
Aww.
And she was like, "Shit, no, it's not." And she just started fussing at me. I was like, "Check it when she comes back." So she came back, she sat down,
Yeah.
she paid her bill, she came off, and the one I was seeing went, "You're right." I was like, it was terrifying because it was just like, it looked like, bing, like it was. I was like,
I never know what to do in that situation. Like in myself too. Like I don't know why shirts do that sometimes.
well,
it's just hard.
I wanted to go, hey, let's buy a size bigger.
Yeah.
Let's not.
I don't have that problem, but yeah.
Oh.
It's all good. Bodies are weird. Buying clothes is weird. It's hard.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
My torso is longer than my, like, it's not balanced, so I have to buy extra tall.
Oh, okay.
So like 2XL XT.
Yeah.
And its clothes, as time has worn on, have only gotten shorter, and it drives me nuts. Not as in, like, if I buy something new, it'll still be shorter.
Yeah.
Okay. Good Lord. We're going to go back to questions. Is there anyone you would like? Oh, already asked that one. I'm going to grade that one out. Or did we figure out any women?
More women. I like Lauren Lapkus. She's hilarious.
Lauren Lapkus is funny.
Yeah. Sarah Sherman from SNL. Is that her last name?
Is she a new? I don't know.
Yeah,
her.
she's new.
Okay.
I love Kate McKinnon. I love Amy Poehler still. And all those ladies. Tina Fey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what you would like to do in the next 10 years?
You sound like my sister.
I don't mean it that way.
No, it's funny. I don't know. I'm supposed to like be finding someone to have kids with now. I just had a breakup the other day.
Oh God.
We broke up on our anniversary. It was cute, but it's because he wants to retire and I want to start a family. Because he was older. In the next 10 years, I don't know. I would love to be in a band. Like I need to be singing at all times. Because I usually am in my head or just out loud. But I'd love to like be in a band and singing and maybe writing more songs too, kind of moving into that realm. Because I had a lot of fun writing a Christmas song.
Okay.
Yeah. I obviously still want to be doing comedy. I don't know. I guess touring would be on the list and trying something new with that for sure. And maybe like writing a book. That person like really inspired me when he said that his friend would like want to publish my writing. I don't know what kind of book it would be. Maybe a comedy book, I guess.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to have a lot of weight onto it.
Yeah,
just do it.
Just be a book.
Yeah, there's a company I work for that their motto was "Try a lot of things, keep what works."
Oh, I like
and
that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And also something that, do you know about Pachakacha?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I have spoke at Pachakacha 3 times.
Oh wow.
And getting on stage and talking terrifies the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But before I did the first one, I had left a job and I had like that afternoon off. So I was like, I'm going to go home, take a nap. Mm-hmm. And so I put on a Tom Segura special. Mm-hmm. And he said something at the beginning of one of his specials where he was like, everybody, I'm going to butcher the shit out of this. But it's not really a joke. But he was just like, everybody acts like if I bomb, that was a bad day.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was out here for an hour. There's 23 more hours in a day.
Yeah.
And so that's all I thought about going into that first Pachakacha was it's 6.5 minutes. If it sucks, hey, the rest of the day was awesome.
That's a good way to think of it.
So I think about that with a lot of things. Of like, well, I can do this. And there's a lot of times I do stuff because I was like, there could be a good story out of this.
Yeah.
I was like, so there's a lot of things I do. It's like, not everything has to have weight to it. You can just do it for doing it.
Yeah. Sake. I need that advice for sure.
Well, the other one, to talk about the other bear, Bert Kreischer, his thing is, now I can't pull it, but it was something like suck a lot. I can't I can't remember right off the top of my head. Something about like, you're going to suck a lot before you get better.
Yeah.
And I was like, I also love that phrase of like, you're going to fail a lot before you actually get better. And that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just got to keep trying.
Yeah.
Every day I just try. Like, that's all.
It's like this great philosopher of our time said, you just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
I love to swim.
You can polar plunge here now.
I know. I should do that. It might help me, honestly, wake up a little bit. I'm sleepy.
I didn't mean here. I just meant it's cold outside.
Yeah.
You go for a polar plunge. I ain't got a polar plunge. Is there any venue you'd like to perform?
I mean,
venues.
Like reaching, I mean, obviously 30 Rock would be cool.
Okay.
Always SNL like in the back of my mind. I hope it goes on forever. Venues in town, I think the Bijou would be fun. Rowan seemed to enjoy that. Were you there that night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. The Bijou, well, actually I did perform at the Bijou once. I hosted the Halloween show, Pilot Light Halloween show.
Oh, okay.
Me and my friend St. Thomas were Statler and Waldorf.
Love
we
it.
were up in the balcony.
Nice.
MC5 was one of the bands, and I called them the Miley Cyrus 5. And for some reason that killed. And I just made it up at that, made it up.
That's great.
Tennessee Theater would be really cool, I think. I don't know.
Outside of here?
Outside of Knoxville?
Like Radio City Music Hall?
Oh, probably like one of the Comedy Cellars, stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't really want to go to LA, but that would be cool.
Yeah.
One of the classics, yeah.
Okay. Here's the last question. And this is a heavy question. If you could talk to the 14-year-old version of yourself, what would you tell them?
14. 14 is when I moved. Let's see. I did pretty good for myself, actually. As in, like, building a whole new life when I moved, and here in Knoxville. Let me see. I don't know. That's hard. I don't know. I guess I would just say don't stop trying. Just keep trying. Like, okay. I've been going through a lot lately.
Okay.
I said Priscilla was triggering, like, the next day. I had checked myself into, like, the day I texted you and canceled into inpatient care. Okay. So I was there for, like, 3 days working on stuff. But, yeah, 14, I don't know. Just keep living, honestly. Gotta keep. Yeah. That's been hard lately. I don't really want to. So I've been working on that. That's part of where the comedy comes in. Like I said earlier, it's just like survival at this point. Like, because all of these thoughts in my head have been not very good, and like writing them down kind of helps get them out. Yeah. And just like writing in general. Even though I like try to avoid writing sometimes, it helps. Okay. It's hard to write some of these things down, is what I'm saying.
Do you have a bucket of stuff God, that's not the last question then. Do you have like a bucket of stuff you're like, I'm writing this down to get this out, but I'm going to set it over here. This is not for public consumption.
Recently, I was told that it might be a good idea to write like some sets, quote unquote sets, and just perform them for like really close friends. Okay. To help like get these things out. So yeah, kind of bad things that I don't really actually feel comfortable talking about in person, like on stage. One of my therapists said that it might be good to just write something and I don't have to perform it, or I could like have a small group of friends over and just perform it for them because I trust them. So that is something I've actually been thinking about doing lately. Okay. I guess for catharsis and just like I said before, like to prove that these things are real. Like I'm going to read this to people and that this really happened. This is my story. This is my life. This is real.
Well, it's also like you don't know what other people are going through, so it could be somebody has gone through something similar, and you talking about it helps them, which in turn helps you.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of, too, my comedy is like when people laugh at like jokes about, I have this story where I thought about killing myself, and my sister has this gun in her kitchen, and I was listening to Sheryl Crow, and I picked it up and like looked at it for 30 seconds and got really scared, and I was like, I'm just gonna sing Sheryl Crow instead. And then I found out later it was like a BB gun, like it wasn't real. And it was like a handgun that they used to kill the squirrels. Like it's a little BB, but I don't know anything about guns anyway. And so that like killed once I said the BB gun part. But people were laughing, and I was like, is this fun? Like, I didn't know this was funny. Like, to me, it's not really funny, but people laughed.
I think sometimes, people laugh of just like, holy shit, is this really happening?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like a relief.
Yeah. But I think some people, I mean, they relate to just like some of the things I've been feeling lately. Yeah. But yeah, that one I was like, whoa, people are like, I was shocked people laughed at that story, because it's really not until the last line where my sister's like, what are you talking about? We use that to shoot squirrels. Like, it's like, it was dead silent up until that moment, but I wasn't even sure people were going to laugh at that part because it was very serious, but they did.
Yeah. So there's a comedian I'm going to see in Atlanta in December, Miss Pat. Do you know Miss Pat?
Sounds familiar.
Her shit is dark because she was assaulted when she was younger. And then when she was 13, she got a boyfriend that was like 28.
Yeah.
And she was pregnant.
Oh.
Had a kid at 14, had to start selling drugs to just take care of the kid. Her mom was awful to her and beat her, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
She went to jail, but then she found comedy, and she has a show on BET that she just got nominated for an Emmy.
Oh, nice.
For her
I'll have to look that up.
And then she does a Judge Pat show on BET also.
Okay.
She's hilarious. I love Miss Pat. I've had these tickets since January, and I'm
cool.
so excited to see her.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And, but like, she has a book where she wrote everything, and I'm in a book club, and I had them read it, and they were all like, that was so fucked up. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of heaviness out there in this world. So getting it out is a good thing.
Yeah. The doctor, one of the doctors that was checking me into inpatient care, he just looked at me and said, girl, you're fucked up. He was like, you're saying shit I've never heard anyone say before. Yeah. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, these are my thoughts. Yeah. But he was very honest with me, and it was helpful, even though I only saw him for like 30 minutes, just like talking about what's going on. He was like, girl, there is some darkness in you. Like, yeah, he was like, swear. It was funny. He was very honest, which is helpful. Like, yeah.
So you just got to get it out, song or poems or weird comedy. Yeah. Okay.
I'll have to look up Miss Patty.
Miss Pat.
Miss Pat. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for being on.
Thank you. My first podcast. Yay.